Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Today's podcast is brought to you by Jameson's. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, wow. That's my fave. I think that might be my fave.
It's easy. It tastes good and it's easy.
Yeah,
And if you can also make it with vanilla bean ice cream, and you can make a whiskey shake, and they're pretty damn tasty.
I've never had the whiskey shake. I've had the whiskey shakes in the morning.
Yeah.
I've had those, believe me. But
I've had a few of those.
I love it, man. I don't drink it enough because I really do enjoy it. And my thing is, I don't have that. If I'm really into drinking and partying, I don't have a turn off switch. So I'll have a little too many Jamesons.
You and a lot of my friends and my wife.
You're good at that.
My wife can't have a glass of wine. My wife can't have a glass of wine. She's got to go 2. And I go, okay, what time are you going to be up in the morning? And then
she can't have 2?
No, 2 means 3. And then I'm just going to and she has heavy pour. So it's really like 1.5.
That's
so
her
she has
name.
3. So 3 is it's 4.5 wines.
Yeah.
And then inevitably in the morning she's quiet. I go, how's it going? She goes, you were right. I probably could have skipped that last one.
Yeah.
And she's drinking a gallon of water for 6 hours.
There's something in the brain, though. I mean, when it's 3, you want the other. You got to have that next glass. And is it necessary? Of course not. But it's.
Well, then she makes a big joke out of it when she orders something. Like we're a group of people. I do all of this. I go, hey babe, She goes, stop. She tries to embarrass me. Stop trying to control. He's trying to control me. She does all that. Everybody laughs, and then I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
I mean, yeah. What is this? White Chardonnay, though? I mean, how bad can the hangover be?
Well, also, Chardonnay. You know what it is? I'm a morning sex guy.
I'm a morning sex guy. You are a morning sex guy.
She's cock blocking me with that extra glass of wine, that extra Chardonnay.
Oh, you like a little action in the AM?
I like the AM. Okay.
You brush your teeth, or you just go unbrushed? You go in full raw.
It depends. Yeah? Many things. I've done it every way.
Have you?
Yes.
All right. I believe you.
She's participated many times, and there's been a few times where there's no participation.
She doesn't participate. She just watches you get yourself off. What do you mean?
Well, she's like.
Oh, I get. I see what you're saying.
She's like, go ahead. You have permission. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, I'll be filing my nails, but just don't take too long.
I'm doing our taxes.
Yeah, don't take too long on this one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me make a deposit.
Sometimes it's like, I'd like to have some coffee first.
Oh, yeah, it's sexy.
But she gets into it.
When I get a cup of Joe first before you plow me? It's very romantic.
Sometimes we're on 3-hour time difference. It's just like this whole thing. It's like, I got to do the thing. It's
the thing.
It's a scheduling. We have to schedule.
I understand. When I come home, I'm
19 years
tired.
Married.
I'm tired. Yeah. Like physically, you want to do it, but mentally, your brain's like, hey, man, we are fucking exhausted here. Like I've done 39 shows at this point in a row without get one day off. You know what I mean? So I'm fried. I'm just like, I'm completely fried.
We're not 24 anymore,
Well, you're not.
I'm 23 and me, pal.
Yeah. You are. Hey, what's bugging me, man? Here, give me your take. I'm sure you'll agree with me. I'm sick of these cigarette smokers. These cigarette smokers, first of all, they've already burned up the furniture here on the ship on the Icon. They're just terrible. Yeah. They're gross.
There's no smoking, by the way. There's no smoking in your cabin.
No, in your cabin. I'm talking about outside of the smoking area. They have a cushioned couches and things. There's holes in them already. Cigarette holes.
Yeah.
But my point is, okay, you're a cigarette smoker. I get it. Fine. They never have a lighter. Why do they never have? That's the thing they need.
They either forget it or they use them so much. They have them all over the place except on their person.
It's unbelievable.
Or it's in their cabin. They don't want to go get it. I'll just ask someone else up there. They wear them out. Yeah.
Well, it's the same with a lot of them don't even have cigarettes. I see them go up to hey, can I bum a cigarette? Like, what is this?
A cigarette, they're $1 each. Aren't they?
But what is it's not
I-
1920. You're not.
Well, how much
bumming
are cigarettes?
Could I get a
Honestly?
meal? Could you help out an American
How many
down on
cigarettes
his
in a
luck?
pack? Yes. How many
There's
cigarettes in a pack?
24 or 12.
So what are
I
they,
don't
like 65, 75 cents a cigarette?
They're
the
$19
taxes?
a pack. I know in New York.
Right. So let's just say 20.
Hmm.
And there's 24 in a pack, you're saying?
I think. Yeah, I
So,
haven't
so
smoked a
every time,
cigarette.
so this guy, he bums 5 cigarettes a day. It's like $4 and change
Yeah.
because he's too cheap to go buy his own.
I don't understand it though. You're a cigarette smoker. How do you not have a cigarette on you? And how do you not have a lighter? And then they
Yeah.
want my cigar lighter. And then it's always I got my earbuds in. They stand there because they don't know. Whoa, what do we got here? What is it? A welded torch?
Yeah, it is.
It's like,
really.
dude, just fucking light it. And then
Yeah.
psh, they
Yeah.
burn half the
Half
cigarette
of
in
it.
half.
Here's
And I
another
used to
thing.
I used to be like nice and go, watch your thumb there. Don't let it. And now I go,
Yeah,
fuck
now
you.
I'm like,
Just burn
you're on
yourself.
your
I don't
own.
care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
go
Yeah.
away. Here's another
But-
thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are closeted smokers, so they don't bring the smoke cigarettes. They don't bring a lighter or anything. So but then
Oh.
you see someone smoking, and they
They're
start
ashamed.
jonesing. Yeah, and they go, they look around. They might even say, "Hey, I'm going to go to the gym. I'll see you in an hour." And then they go up to the smoking area. They're like, "Hey,
yeah.
can
There
I
is
have a
a-
cigarette?"
There is a stigma, but there's a thing. It's like eating McDonald's. There's a thing about you got to do it in secrecy. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go have a cigarette, or I'm gonna get a Big Mac. It's like just all right, do it. But I don't. I'm just annoyed with 'cause every day. It's like, hey, buddy, you got the lighter? Yeah, here. You know
Hmm.
you like a cigar guy. I get it because he might have one cigar in 5 days. Maybe he didn't bring a
Right.
lighter. But if your
Right.
thing is putting nicotine in your lungs, you need a fucking implement. You know what I mean? You need
I
a
agree. I'm just
torch
not a
of some
fan
kind.
of the smoking, as I've mentioned on the podcast in the past. My stepmother was a chain smoker, and we were in a 1974 Pontiac Le Mans, and the
That was my first car. I got the Le
Yeah?
Mans, 1972 Le Mans.
did it have an overfilled ashtray like my stepmother? She would smoke
probably did.
Winston cigarettes, and then just keep putting them out, and it was just it
Alfred,
would be
stop
overflowing,
complaining.
and there would be burn holes in the fucking
Oh.
rugs. It's just
Yeah.
like, and then me and my
It's gr-
sister would be car sick. We'd be choking, secondhand smoke.
Maybe that
So,
affected her eyes.
I hated smokers for that. I hate my stepmother, who's no longer with us, and I
Oh,
should
geez.
let it go. I should let it go.
I didn't know any of this.
I should let
Let's
it go.
Let's delve into this stepmom.
Well, this is my therapy today.
The stepmom from hell. What age are you?
Psychologically, not physically,
What are you?
psychologically
What
abused.
age are you when? What's her name? What's her first name?
Same name as my mother, Barbara. So that was my dad was not
like
really mixing
Barbs.
it up that much.
He was like Pat Godwin, always married women named Kim. So
Really? Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. How old were you when second Barb
about 8.
arrives? Oh, that's
Eight-
young.
eight-
Yeah.
8, yeah. So
Mm. Hello,
Yeah.
Alfred. I'll be
And my-
banging your
'cause my
dad
father
from
re-
now on.
yeah, my dad remarried, and I went to go live with my father. So that was
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
those
How
cig-
much do I
no,
how
but-
much do I owe you for this session?
But 75, you can Venmo it. But
Wow. Thank you. That's a break from
yeah, I gave you a
what
little break.
Give me a
I
little
gave you a
break.
little break. I knew you had been in Aruba for 2 weeks not getting paid, so I gave you a little break. But yeah, the cigarette thing, my car was our family's car. It was a 72 Le Mans. One of those, it was blue with a white vinyl top, and then the vinyl started
Peeling
peeling.
back.
Remember that vinyl shit?
It was a mock convertible. It's like somebody
Yeah, it
came
was-
up with that because all the car makers, American car makers, started doing it. They started putting I actually had a 73 Ford Torino that had the fake vinyl roof, and it had carriage things on the sides. So I pulled those off and ripped the vinyl off myself, and I
yeah.
repainted the car. But because at the time I was working in an auto body shop, so I figured,
Yeah,
hey, the
mine-
secondhand smoke, go right into the auto body shop.
I got it when I was 18. I put a good stereo in it, but then the rest of
Yeah.
it was like the vinyl was kicking up and became just obviously a party car. But yeah, the ashtrays probably did have some cigarette. My dad was a cigarette guy, and he drove that car, so I'm
Want to
sure the
hear
ashtrays
Want
were
to hear
used.
some more white trash behavior?
Yeah, man.
The Pioneer Super Tuner was the radio to get for your car, and you had to buy it hot. Do you know what hot means?
No, I have never heard the term hot.
some of the
What
listeners,
am
I wanted you to explain it. I wanted you
What
to
am I, a
explain it for the listeners.
retard? I don't know the word hot. Jesus Christ.
It means stolen, if you're not familiar. We're a little older than
Boy.
some of our
Who's
listeners. You know
who,
that.
Who,
That's not in their
doesn't know what
vernacular.
hot means? Do you know what the word
What
hot
about
means?
Cotter's has liver pills? Oh, that guy's got more problems than Cotter's have liver pills. I had no idea what that meant. That was
I don't
my
know.
dad's
Tom Cotter?
vernacular. It was
Tom
Tom
Cotter?
Cotter. I think
He
it was
has liver problems?
CARTTERS, but
Hey,
but
weren't
my
we supposed to
father,
have
my
Tom
father's
Cotter on the show? What happened to that whole thing? Where's Tom? I thought we were going to guess the guest.
Tom was out of the weather. He was actually under
Yeah.
the weather. We think he had COVID.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, there's a picture of us at the club. There's 5 of us on one side, and then he's clearly 10 feet over on the other side of the stage. And the microphone is in the middle, and we're all like this.
So you had to go to Aruba sick? That's
well, I mean, he did, not me.
Yeah, that's rough.
I knew it right away because he was actually only here 2 nights because he was working in Florida. Someone canceled, so he came in for 2 nights, and then Lenny Marcus came down for 2 nights to cover the person that canceled. But Tom was already in Florida, so that was just 2 hours and 15-minute flight to Aruba. So when he arrived, he was already. I could say, "Dude, you look tired." He goes, "Yeah, I'm a little beat. I'm a little beat." And he goes, "And I got some sinus."
You didn't give him a hug, did you? Little hug.
Not really.
Yeah.
I kind of like
okay.
trying to keep my distance. So
Little fist bump.
yeah, a little fist bump. I think I did. I fisted him, and then
hey now.
He enjoyed that.
I'm sure he's got that joke. I'm sure Cotter. See, that's like a Cotter joke. I mean,
it is a Cotter joke. Very much in the flavor of TC.
If it's not, it should be. Jeez, it's perfect. Hey now.
TC is not PC. Let's put it that way. Tom Cotter is not politically correct.
No.
How? So funny. So funny. On and off stage, Cotter makes me laugh.
So
which
you got
a rarity. Like you make me laugh.
No.
Off stage.
Well, thank you. That's what I go for.
I'm joking.
The first time I met Tom, I think it was the first time. It's hard to pick back the day, but we did a college gig together, and I was mid-90s maybe or some one of my first, and we were backstage, and there was another comic, and then Tom started. He was headlining, closing, whatever, and he started sneezing, and like a couple sneezes in a row, and I go, "God bless you," and he's like,
"He said I'm
sorry,
allergic
man.
to hacks."
I'm allergic to hacks.
That's his.
Which was great. We haven't even met the guy yet. It's like
he was sneezing here.
He
was sneezing here, really sneezing because he's got illness. And I said that to him. I go, "Dude, are you allergic to hacks?" I said, "Let me guess, you're allergic to hacks." I just pulled the Masada principle. I told his joke before he got to tell it.
It was great. Yeah, that was. I love that. Yeah, I love that old school ball breaking. I miss it. It's missed in comedy. I had a guy do it the other night. Not really do that, but it was one of these. You probably have done this where I'm having a cigar, and these 2 guys are there, and then I have the earbuds in, but they're like, "Hey, buddy," and I go, "Yeah, hey," and they go, "Enjoyed the show, blah blah blah. We've seen you twice," and I go, "Oh, thanks," And then the guy's like, "Yeah," he goes, "Yeah, the first time was good. Second time, nah, a little, it was all right." And I go, "Oh, okay." I go, "Well, maybe the crowd was weird." He goes, No, I'm breaking your balls. It was good. It was good. And then the other guy's like, "Well, it was okay." I go, "You don't feed this guy's ego." And it becomes one of these things where why can't you just say you enjoyed it?
They're trying to be funny, but that particular formula,
missing
yes. Well, first of all, I don't think you should bust anybody's balls unless you're a comedian on stage, or 2, somebody relatively well, and you got to feel
it's a
that
green
they can handle
room
it.
friends.
And it's a green room friends thing, and it because when Cotter busts my balls, I'm howling.
Right.
I'm
well, that's
howling.
Like
Don Gavin busting my balls.
Of course.
I'm howling. But then there would be some other person, I won't mention names, that tries to do it, and they come across as being an asshole, and I don't care.
Right. Well, it's like Rickles when you were, insulted by Rickles was a badge of honor, and you fucking love it. And that when guys like Cotter, Gavin, whatever, though, that's hell yeah, bring it on. But these 2 morons are like, so then I'm getting annoyed. I'm just like, all right, I put the earbud back in. I'm like, all right, go fuck yourselves. And the guy's like, "Hey, buddy, whoa. So now I got to take the thing out again." They do it again. They do it again. Hey, if we come to the next show, it's gonna be the same because we liked it and all, but I don't watch the same.
So
I'm
they're
kidding.
beating.
I'm kidding, buddy. I'm kidding.
They're beating the joke and they're trying to be funny with the comedian.
And I'm
Were they from New
now
Jersey by any chance?
they might as well have been, in Florida. New Yorkers probably living in Florida. So
Long Island.
at the end, though, they get up and it's one of these, and I'm kind of looking down at my phone. And after all that bullshit, now I'm annoyed. They both go, "Hey, buddy. I go, "Yeah, yeah." They go, "How about a picture? Can we get a picture?"
Oh, you're shitting me.
I'm not. So after all that shit, I gotta do one of these with these two goons and fucking, incredible, but not really incredible because that's what it is. They thought they just, as guys, they couldn't just say, "Hey, man, good job."
Mm-hmm.
They had to try to, put you down a little bit, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
My late brother Rick, very smart, book smart, or whatever. Pretty good sense of humor, but if he had a couple of cocktails in him, and you saw a celebrity, if you saw a celebrity or a semi-celebrity, anybody, whether it was the local weatherman or Al Franken one time in New York City, we're in a restaurant, and he's like, "That's Al Franken sitting behind us. That's Al Franken." I go, yeah. I go, "We're in New York." I go, "He works at SNL." He goes, "Oh, I got to go talk to him." I'm like, "No. Don't let him have his dinner." No. He ordered a drink. His dinner hasn't come yet. I got to go. So he walks up to him. He goes, "Hey, my brother's a comedian." And I'm like, and I've seen Al around the neighborhood because he lived on the Upper West Side, and so did I. So I would see him in the park, and it was just like a walking by, nodding thing, and just stay away from the guy,
Yeah.
So he goes, he talks to him, he has a few words, ha ha ha, and then Rick comes back over to the table. 7 minutes later, I want to get his autograph. So he grabs a napkin and a pen, and he goes, "Al, can I get your?" Now his meal's there. "Al, can I get your autograph?"
Yeah.
And Al goes,
"Yeah,
sure. What is your name again?" He goes, Rick. He goes, "Okay." And he writes, he goes,
what did he write?
It to him. Here, he goes, "Thank you so much. Nice meeting you."
I can imagine.
He opens, he goes, "Eat shit, Rick." I start howling. I fall over.
God, that's perfect.
Now, Al Franken knows that I'm a comedian, and he just made me laugh. So, and Rick's perplexed, like, "What?" And
That's great.
I actually fall over in my booth, and Al, you see a big smile. Now he's eating his meal, but he's got a big smile over here. It's like,
that's funny. Hilarious. I love it. And Rick might have been the impetus to Al Franken, because on SNL, and you can watch this on YouTube, I'm sure, Al Franken does a little editorial about people coming up to him, Al Franken, you know how he'd say his name over and over. So he's like, "I don't like when people out in public come up to me, Al Franken, and ask for an autograph. Unless you're a beautiful blonde who's ready to engage in oral sex at that moment, stay away from me, Al Franken."
Al Franken.
So he might have, your brother might have been the impetus to the bit.
Sure. Yeah, he did it. My brother did it with a few other celebrities. Anthony Quinn.
Oh,
movie star from the 50s through the 70s. Anthony Quinn,
big Greek
Greek guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He moved to Papasquash, Rhode Island, which was like a highfalutin area in Rhode Island, and we were in a sushi restaurant. And he comes in, 81-year-old Anthony Quinn with his 38-year-old wife and their 2-year-old. And my brother goes, "Oh, same thing. Oh, Anthony Quinn." Couple of drinks in him. "I got to go say hi." I'm like, no, don't do it. He gets up. He walks right over. The guy's with his infant son. Anthony Quinn's going to be dead any minute.
Yeah. Drinking the grappa. A lot of grappa.
And but my brother knew somebody mutual, because Anthony Quinn was a sculpture artist, and he had something in Hawaii. My brother lived in Hawaii at one time, and the guy that was running the exhibit, they knew mutually, who went to jail. So he goes, "Hey, so-and-so went to jail." He goes, "Yeah, he pulled some funny business on me. Well, Rick, it was nice meeting you." In other words, go back. I'm with my fucking 2-year-old.
We're done here.
I need every minute with my child. We're done. And it was very polite. And I did that. Sure enough, another drink. "Oh, I got to go ask him one more thing." And I'm like,
this guy.
I'm reaching for my brother, and he's pulling away from me. So
Jesus.
God rest your soul, Rick. Thank you for those awkward
pod
moments.
stories, and yeah, a little
we get
pod fodder is always good.
Sure.
Yeah, I love when guys that other one though, Frank, and that fucking is hilarious. You know, what do you say? Eat shit, Rick, or what?
Eat shit, Rick. And there's
That
a
is
rhyme there. There's a rhyme, even
it's
though
the
it doesn't
best.
really rhyme.
That's the best. That's the best. I love that kind of. I love those kind of things where we get with something that's so funny, and like I've told a story to Civilian where Groucho Marx was on a plane, and a lady comes up to him, and he's old, and she goes, "Are you Groucho Marx?" And he goes, "I am." And she goes, "Well, I got to be honest. She was in first class near him." She goes, "You weren't very funny this flight." And he looks at her, he goes, "Go fuck yourself," and walks off the plane. And it's like, but if you tell that to people, they go, "Oh, like why would he say that? And what was that?" And you go, "No, that's. I mean, what?"
That, first of all, that's hysterical. He closed with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That was
go
his
fuck
closing
yourself.
bit. That's hysterical. And how dare you make a lame fucking joke of a guy that's been 60 years.
He gave his life to comedy. He's done everything for the people, and you're gonna the old man's getting out of his seat, and you're gonna tell him he wasn't funny? Like,
yeah, at 80 something years old.
yeah, this is the way people are, man. This is I'm thinking of.
But the
Anthony
scenario
Quinn,
you got with
yeah,
it's so funny because for me, I like Long Island and I like New Jersey audiences. You can say anything, and when they give it up, they really give it up. You got to earn them over. You got to win them over. But once you do, my experience is it's a good ride. But to have that try to battle with you, as a stand-up comedy, to try to I'm just as funny as him. You know, oh, I'm breaking your balls. You know,
I hate it. And I always know, you know it too.
awful.
The minute you get on stage, you can tell the guy with the arms crossed who's sitting next to his girlfriend or his wife. You know, it's like he's in here for a challenge. He's not here to just laugh. He's here to like, this guy, let me see if he's going to be funny or not. I'll decide. I'm funnier than him, that whole thing. Why are you laughing at that? I hate that. I can't. That's
jealous.
That's like the worst thing where I just on stage look down and see that guy. I'm like, fuck, you know, I don't care.
I've seen a guy in a
wife.
He was in a wife beater. It was at the comic strip. Big Gold's Gym guy. He's wearing a wife beater in the thing at the club, and he's got his back to the stage, and he's got this hot, you know, Marilyn Monroe ditzy girlfriend, and she's laughing at every comedian. He's like, "What? That wasn't funny." He's doing. He's got exactly what you just said. That wasn't that funny. And, blah, 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 and he's distracting and he's looking at the audience.
It's insane.
Like he should be doing sign language for us. You know, it's just
it's insane.
His mentality is he doesn't care what he look. He's not aware of what he looks like. He has like a Caesar complex where, you know, I'm the emperor.
Yeah. No, I don't know. There's no other. No, you don't. That guy doesn't go to Hamilton and sit there and watch it and go, "These guys suck. I can dance better, and they're not good singers." But for some reason, comedy, stand up, it's this thing of people think it's going to be a challenge. I'm going to make you laugh, or you know, we here on this ship, especially that front row, we haven't been able to fill it most nights. People don't want to sit in the front. They think we're going to.
Because
but
crowd
we're
work
not.
is the
But
trend.
it's too close. The chairs are too close to the stage. They're literally right. They're right there, and I think it's you know, there is a feeling of, oh shit, I'm on stage basically. Yeah.
So why isn't that changed? Why Nick Ware note? Because of drink sales. They think so. If the seats are empty, they're not making any revenue. So get rid of them.
Well, they don't. They stop serving. You know, once the show starts.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they stop serving. But
can they go to the bar and get a drink?
You can leave and go to the bar. Yeah, but I mean, the whole show is 45 minutes. It's like if you bring a drink in or two, you should be fine. You know, I mean, really, it's a short show. So
those shows must be flying because we've been doing that here. We've had 4 to 6 comedians per show.
It's too many.
Because Steve White came down actually to showcase. He was overnighting. He was overnighting to join a carnival ship.
Oh, okay.
So he came up and he killed it.
He always does. Yeah. He's coming here. He's going to fill in for Ogata for
he said he's going there after a carnival. He goes, I don't care. He goes, I don't care. Carnival, icon.
He doesn't care.
He goes, just pay me and
he's got kids in private school. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He'll work anywhere.
He's
but yeah, he's He's great. He's always been great. He was the first headliner I worked with in New York when I moved back to New York when I got out of the Navy, and I went to Jimmy's Comedy Alley. I got booked there somehow as an MC, and he was the headliner. So I don't know how would because he's not that much older than me, but he started comedy very young. You know,
Yes,
he was a teenager,
teenager.
probably.
Yeah, teenager.
Like
And
Murphy.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy pulled him under his wing a little bit there, and also he was in the Spike Lee movies. He was in like 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, all just with like chutzpah of showing up on set and talking to people, and Spike going, "Who are you?" "Oh, I'm a comedian," and he'd been a comedian a year or something. They're like, "Oh, all right," and put him in a scene, and he let him ad lib, and he said shit. So each time he was like, "Yeah, you could be back in another one," but it was just no agent, no bullshit, no audition.
Just to get he was getting his SAG card, and he was, hey,
he showed up in Brooklyn and just started talking to people. And it worked out. It one last cigar thing, because this is in my brain from this whole week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We went to Coco K a week ago, and I'm up there and having a cigar, and this kid, like 20-year-old kid, comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, do you want to buy some cigars?" And I go, well, I have cigars. I go, "What do you have, though? I'd be interested." And he's got a bag he bought on Coco K in those huts.
He's trying to resell them.
I got Cuban cigars, man. Like, he's acting like these don't exist. And he found this, heavenly, the grail. So I go, "Oh, let me see what you got." And they're literally those boxes with the glass case, like the little shit box, 5 sticks, worth about maybe $8 total. And I go, "What do you want for those?" And he's like, 25 a piece. I go, "Oh, wow." I go, "There's 5 of them." And he goes, yeah, 125. And I go, "What did you pay?" And he goes, "I bought them. I already bought, I bought them on the island." I go, "Yeah, but what did you pay for these?" He's like, "Yeah, it doesn't, but I'm just saying." He goes, "Man, 125. And I go, "Dude," so I'm just sitting there, and and he seems like a nice kid. I think he just was on the Coco K and thought, "Hey, I can make some money reselling these."
Weird. Yeah, he's got the
So I go, "Well,
salesman pitch."
Yeah, and I go, "Well, I go, I don't know whether you care or not." I go, "They're not real. They're not Cubans." And he goes, "No, they are. Look, and Cohiba." He's reading the label like Cohiba. I go, "Yeah, that's a fake label. It's printed." And I go, "They're fakes." I go, "Smoke them if you want. They're probably not horrible, but they're not worth anything." And he's looking at me. He goes, "Really?" I go, "They're not worth anything at all. And I don't know what you paid for them, but I'm just letting you know, no one's going to buy them." Then this guy at the end goes, "Hey, what are you selling cigars?" And the kid goes, he looks at me like, "Fuck you." And he runs over to the guy. And it's pretty far. I can't hear, but I'm watching. The guy's telling him basically the same thing I just said. Because this kid's face is just falling.
He found, did he? Oh, the guy said the same thing?
Yeah, he's telling him. You could tell the kid's standing there with the cigars. He's got them in his hands. And the guy must be telling him the same kind of thing I did. Because the kid just looks all fucking, heartbroken. And he's like,
he thinks he's making a score. Was he naive, or did he have a little bit of a Wolf of Wall Street action going on there?
No, he was just a young kid, naive. I think he thought, hey, if I buy these for, $10 a piece, or probably more than that, probably $15 a piece, I could sell them for 25 each or whatever, make a little profit tonight.
Right. Double his money.
And yeah.
Oh,
and it's like, dude, you're on the Icon with people who smoke cigars. You're generally not going to find some schmuck who just went, "All right, Cubans."
Now, with that said, you did say you found that shack and bought a single Cuban.
I did.
And you thought it could have been legit.
Well, I did.
100% sure.
During COVID, I'd go there. And when they finally let us off the ship, that was the only place we could go, was Coco K. And I remember I'd buy 5 or 7 or 10, whatever. And yeah, there was a couple, 1 or 2 in the mix would be real,
And then you got some just regular.
But the others are never bad, though. Like, it wasn't sawdust and bullshit.
Well, no, because you can get a nice Dominican stick.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
They were like a Dominican with a phony label on it.
Yeah, that's all.
That was fine. And for $15, it's fair.
Yeah.
But
considering it was COVID and you couldn't get off the ship and you
were
waiting for deliveries that took weeks to get there.
I would just listen to one today. We're recording and filming today, and I was listening to a little of today's Vault episode. We have old ones on every Friday from our vast collection of podcasts, and that was it. I was talking about getting off the ship and going to Coco Cay. It was a brand new thing. After 3 months, we could leave the ship. It's wild to look back at that and you go, that was only 2 years ago. It feels like two sometimes, and it also feels like
It feels
22.
10. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it really does. It's like hard to believe, but yeah, it was only realistically 2 years ago. So
Hey, so in the news today,
sure.
4.8 earthquake in the New York tri-state area. Of course, New York is taking credit for it, but it
What do you
actually
mean?
happened in Lebanon. Lebanon, New Jersey was the epicenter for the
Lebanon,
yeah, which I didn't even know there was a Lebanon. I know there's a Lebanon
Pennsylvania.
and New Hampshire, but I didn't realize there was one in New Jersey.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Isn't it weird they run
4.8
out of names? Isn't
is
that weird
named
though? They
after
run out of
countries.
names in
So why did they
Lebanon
do that?
because
Did a Lebanese community settle there and they got into politics and
yeah,
one was
I don't
elected
understand.
mayor and they called it Little Lebanon as a nickname and then they incorporated it.
Little Lebanon. That's a place I probably wouldn't hang out. Little Lebanon.
I've had a little Lebanese, wasn't bad.
Hey now, what was his name? Hey, what? What? I did not really hear about this. So
Oh, you
last
didn't?
night, this
How,
morning, what are we
Mr.
talking?
Finger on the Pulse, Twitter, you? How?
You know what? I saw someone. I thought it was a
They
joke. I
shut
thought
down
someone,
JFK Airport.
huh?
They
For an
shut down
earthquake.
yeah, temporarily shut down JFK to,
Of
to
course
do
they
an
did.
inspection,
Of course they did. Anything to fuck up travelers. What
Yeah.
was the earthquake?
And,
8
well,
seconds,
because
and now the flight's delayed.
Lenny Marcus is on his way to JFK. He said, "Great." He goes, "I'm waiting the board," and they just said it was a 4.8.
Wow. Here's what you don't expect. Why is the flight delayed? There was an earthquake in New York. Huh? Really? Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I'll be
No,
honest, 4.8
please.
is pretty big for the East Coast, but it's nothing on the West Coast. It's like, okay, yeah. We
What's
get,
a
we get 3.8s, 4.1s,
yeah?
4.6s all the time. So, but
When's the
4.8 is
big one?
pretty significant.
When's the big one coming? Since
Well,
I
I
was
know they've had,
a youth, I've heard about the big one's going to take out California. When the fuck is that happening?
well, they've had a series of a lot of small ones, mediums, and
Yeah.
a couple of large. The Northridge one was big. The one in San Francisco
No, I'm talking about the
was
big one.
huge. Well,
The big one.
that's a deterrent to stop those East Coasters from moving out there.
Arizona Bay. Remember Hicks had
Yeah,
that bit.
yeah.
The big one's coming to California. It'll be called Arizona Bay.
Well, that ring of fire goes all the way from Alaska, all the way down the coast of the United States, down into Central America, South America, and that's where the fault is. That's where the
fault
Earth is.
lies not in our stars, but in our eyes.
Crust, the Earth's crust. Yes.
Am I right on that?
You're ballparking.
Correct me, Al. You must know it.
I'm not
You know the
correcting
quote.
you.
You know the quote. You know the Shakespearean quote.
I can fake
No.
sometimes being a well-read intellectual person, but it's all character. It's all character work. It's not
all right. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but I'll give a shout out to a great comedian, Eric Tunney. Ever hear the name Eric Tunney? Canadian.
So.
He was
Sure.
at the time in Canada in the 90s. He was like Norm's best friend. Him and Norm were super tight, and Norm went to LA. Then Eric went a year or two later, and it didn't happen for him. But he was as good, believe me, as Norm, and then went back to Canada. Was like, fuck this, and blew his head off. But
I think I remember that story. That was him.
Yeah, he would wear a suit on stage. He'd have a cigar unlit in his fingers, and he would pontificate. And like he was a very smart guy, but he liked to think he was, it was a goof, but he would talk above the crowd. He's like, they always say never talk above the crowd, and that's what he would do. But why do I bring up Tunney? Here we go. So he had a joke where he said Elvis on stage would say, somebody once said, every man's a star. What's that quote? The Shakespeare quote, every man's a star, but most of us are just players, something in that realm. But his point was, he goes, every man's a star. Someone once said every man's a star, and the rest are all players. And then Tony would go, someone Elvis, Shakespeare. That was Shakespeare, Elvis. And it was like he's annoyed with and it was so great, that delivery, and someone,
At least give the guy, give him credit.
so funny. And then he goes, I paid $80 to see Sinatra, and they had Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet opening, and Steve Lawrence just passed away a week or two ago. But he goes, Steve and Edie. He goes, have you seen these people, Steve and Edie? She's like, clang, clang, clang goes a trolley. He's like, I paid $80. I may just fucking go home right now. Christ. And Lawrence has got that on him, that ooze of a guy who's been cheating forever, because his wife Edie's wearing like a muumuu. You know, she's wearing all black to cover some physical hell. And he keeps going, am I a lucky guy or what? Am I a lucky guy or what? And then if you look up, if you read about Steve Lawrence, was like a dog. He was fucking everything for 30 years. You know what I mean? While they were on the road as Steve and Edie. But love that. Eric Tunney. Check him out, folks, if you. I don't know if he's got anything.
Hey, just came in off the wire. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Aftershocks. Aftershocks could happen. There's reports of damage. You know.
Well, maybe it'll clean up New York a little bit.
No injuries reported as of yet. But that's it.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Hey, well, you know what time it is.
Do we really have a question?
We do. I looked down. I didn't realize.
Well, then it's time for
Questions.
You send in the questions. You ask. Go ahead.
No, do it.
You ask questions and we'll answer them. How can they ask us questions?
You can go on any of our social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, if that's what it's called. And just send us a question and we'll capture it and answer it. And this one comes in. This is a couple weeks ago, but it's been in the notes. What is, and I like the wording of this, what is the preferred nomenclature, comedian or comic?
Ooh.
I like nomenclature.
I like nomenclature.
When I read that, I thought of a movie.
Read it.
A movie that you know pretty well has it prominently in there. I don't know if you can pull it in your brain at this moment, but yes, doctor. I'm bending over, doctor. Yes, doctor. Hey now.
Hello.
Do any time in prison? Moon River. But the movie, you know what it was? I was thinking about Big Lebowski.
Yes.
Big Lebowski, John Goodman, because I love that character.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That's right. You're out of your element, Donnie. But they say something like Vietnamese, something about Vietnam, and he goes, well, dude, the preferred nomenclature is actually, and I remember as a kid here, and I go, that's such a fucking great word, nomenclature. But this guy or woman, I don't have the name. What is the preferred nomenclature? What do you like, Alfred? Comedian or comic?
I like comedian personally better, but I was brought up in New England with comic. He's a comic. Yeah. You a comic? He's a comic. It's just, I like comedian.
Comedian seems old, like old school. I prefer it too, but everyone.
You like stand-up comedian? Or do you like... Or do you like stand-up comic?
I like stand-up comic better than stand-up comedian, but I like comedian better than comic.
I feel exactly the same.
All right, very good.
There
I don't know
go.
when comic changed. A comedian, there's probably some comedian. Maybe that was the guy in the Catskills wearing a tux and
Yeah,
sweating.
because you can be a comedian, you could be a performer, vaudeville, you could be a comedic actor. But a stand-up comedian, that's the difference.
That's different. Well, that's true, because a lot of times people go like they'll have somebody who's in comedies, like as an actor. They'll go, Ben Stiller's a great comedian, and you go, well, he's not a comedian. He's never stood on stage and told jokes by himself.
He's a comedy performer and actor.
Yeah, he's an actor, comedy actor, writer.
Yeah, he did sketch prior.
But people they just put comedian in there, where I think you wouldn't call him a comic though. So comic's really its own. Standing on stage, telling your jokes, and comedian seems more broad. You know what I mean? For broads, but broads can't be comedians, so that's the difference. I guess if you want to wrap this up, that's really the note in there. Broads ain't funny. Peace.
You are so canceled. You are so canceled over that.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
That Jerry Lewis said that women weren't funny, and
Yes.
then you see
Was he wrong?
women comics that have been killing it for years, and then you see Melissa, what's her name there from Bridesmaids,
McCarthy?
McCarthy. She
She's
was
not
a
a comedian.
sketch. She's a comedic actor. We were talking about the subject matter.
But I think Lewis was talking about women on stage telling jokes. I think he meant that's
Jerry
what
Lewis,
I
by the way. Yes.
Jerry.
Oh, I thought he meant just women aren't
No,
funny.
because he loved Lucy. He was a big Lucy fan, and I think he would never say Lucy wasn't funny. I don't know. I could be wrong. I thought he was taking it like stand-up comedians who were women. Terrible.
Okay.
And I agree.
There was Joan Rivers, and there was
She was great.
Toady Fields, and there was
Funny.
there was a bunch of women, not as many as there are today, but there were a handful.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do 5. I got Toady
So what
Fields,
was
Joan Rivers.
right? What was Mike Nichols and what was her name? Lorraine, was it?
Yeah.
Nichols
Nichols and May.
Nichols and May. They were
Elaine May.
sketch. Elaine May.
They're sketches though.
Those are sketches. Same thing with we have another
Mrs.
alert.
Mrs. Maisel.
No, sorry.
She was hilarious.
No, the Stillers.
Oh
Stiller
yeah.
and Mirror.
Right.
They were sketch. They were
Yeah. Watch
so they
some
were
of those.
comedic. They were comedic actors.
Right.
Sketch actors, right?
Sketch. Yeah. Watch some of those and see. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm talking to my ass, but I watch some of those on YouTube and tell me if they hold up. I mean, can you imagine
Well,
how
it
bad
was
they
an
are?
art form back then, and it was different from the mainstream. So kudos.
Well, and a
know,
lot of
and-
those sketches are from vaudeville. Vaudeville wasn't that far away,
right.
so they took it from vaudeville, or they knew the act, and
Right.
so you take the act and go, hey, I can make you're a woman, I'll change it a little, and
Right.
there's
so
the
like
act.
like a ventriloquist will do, before they make it their own, and they get the standard. The magician does it too. They get the standard tricks, and then they're supposed to
Magician
mold it
does
and
it.
make it their own and create some different approaches and pattern. But the ones
Right.
that don't
Like
break
anything.
from that,
Yeah, like stand up. Everybody in the beginning, you
Yes.
don't know what you're doing. You copy Brian Regan or whoever,
Sure.
and similar.
airline humor.
Yeah, man. Well,
When
Hey,
someone's doing
I
a
still do it.
comedian is doing airline humor, I'm like, I watch them because I'm waiting. I've heard that a million times. I heard this a million times, and then I get to the one. It's like the different
There's
approach,
usually,
the different
there's
angle.
something.
I like yours. I like Tom Cotter's because it's different from the 30 other guys that are doing it. They're doing the
Yeah.
script, and you guys are doing your own.
Right. Jimmy Schubert's got I like that
He's-
with the shut up and with the peanuts. Everybody here, shut up and watch Shrek. Shut the fuck up. Here's a peanut. Shut. All right, dude. So what are you doing today? You're just hanging on the island?
I am. I'm going to be having dinner with Bernadette's cousin Kathleen and her husband Bobby are staying 2 floors below me, and we're going to go to a restaurant tonight. It's supposed to be a very good restaurant, so it'll be the 3 of us, and I'll be muscling in on their date night.
Why did Bernie split? Did she have a gig or something, or why didn't she hang for another day or two?
Because I would have left today if I didn't have the cruise ship. I'm walking on the cruise ship, Sunday. So I stayed here instead of flying back to the West Coast, flying back to Curacao, overnighting, getting on a cruise ship. I'm
Right.
staying. So
No, I'm just saying, why didn't she stay till you split? Did she have to be back for something, or was it just?
because when we booked our flights, we didn't know if this was going to pan out. I requested a cruise on both ends of this trip.
Gotcha.
And for some reason, I was just hoping for one to either get off on one and get on another. And both of them fell into, they actually accommodated me. They
Wow.
actually looked
Yeah.
and saw that I was in Aruba, and they went, book them. So
That's not bad. Not bad.
it's never happened.
I'm flying Tuesday to Ocho Rios, to Montego Bay. I haven't done this in so long, but anyway, I'm flying Southwest. Like, when did that become a thing?
From what I understand, the cruise lines travel department is now relinquishing it to like foreign. I don't know if it's Asian, Korean, or some foreign entity is booking our travel, and they are doing AI something, and they're grabbing the cheapest flights. And I actually have a Southwest flight coming up, and it has 2 stops. So now I'm like, and I keep waiting for them to going, okay, we're going back to the old way because it's really fucking up. We lose our status. They have to pay for our luggage. They got to pay for our luggage, and they're turning our 5 and 6 hour days into 10 and 12 hour days. Yeah. And having us perform when we arrive. It's crazy.
I don't remember it now. So if I'm flying Tampa to Fort Lauderdale to Montego Bay. And then what is that, like the next day I've got quite a drive, right?
I don't remember more. It's either an hour to 3 hours, depending on where you are. But I want to say all of an hour. So they're supposed to supply the transportation.
Isn't that George?
George. Yeah. I've gotten to that airport and looking for George. I don't see anything. I'm making calls. I got no communication. So I take a taxi and I go. And then I get there. George goes, where are you?
I've had that.
Going, I remember that. You were in the parking lot somewhere eating a sandwich, talking to your girl. Yeah. Of your many girls that you have hidden all over the place. So.
Look at this is Princess, which I never work. And it says, walk out of the airport and go to the sign that says letter E. And your driver will be there. I'm like, okay. There's 50-50 on that.
But no, it's actually 9 out of 10 times. Or 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Yes. I just only had that one incident. Every time I've been to Jamaica, other than that, it worked like a.
And I don't want to. I'm going to get to the hotel at like 6 or 6:30. I don't want to hear I'm picking you up at 7 a.m.
No.
I don't. There's no reason. No.
You say I'm checking out at 11 or noon. Come get me.
I mean,
and they might be, because I got to go to the airport and I pick you up on the way back. It's like, no.
But I have 3 shows that night.
You say I have 3 shows that night. I have to get my rest.
Yeah, I have 3 that night, and then off Thursday, then Friday, Cozumel to Miami. And I could have flown home, but to be home for what, 7 hours and then rent a car and drive to Miami.
I just did the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, Skipper, are we done here?
We're done. All right,
I'll use my discretion.
See ya.
So long, man. Have a good trip.
You. Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Als, 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Patreon.com/the2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.